What is going on, everybody? This is Nick from Gather the Nerds. We are live. Sorry for the delay. We're about 5 minutes late. We had to consume some food. Food is life, as they say. So we had to consume. I don't know what Sam was doing, but we had to consume. Brandon and I, or excuse me, Earth to Church and myself had to eat. So I think he might be eating a pizza, is what it looked like. So if you see him eating it, that's probably what he's eating. I don't know.
It's a stale pastry.
Stale pastry, even better, even better. I guess on Earth 2 they only sell stale pastries.
I had to bring it over from Earth 1, so
there you go. There you go. So Cav may be joining us here in a little bit. Hannah is packing. Apparently Sam lost his opportunity to live at home, so he's moving out. Maybe not. That's probably a little bit exaggeration, I think. Sam, how are you today?
Oh, I'm dandy.
Just got off work. You got out of packing, I see.
Well, she's not here right now. I'm not sure if she's... I think she's buying all the boxes from the UPS store.
Very important. Very important when you're packing to have boxes, for sure. Okay. Let me ask you this. When you pack, and you have clothes that you're packing, are you leaving the hangers on the clothes?
So we've been in this house for 15 years. I don't remember what we did over a decade ago.
Well, what are you doing now?
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing now?
We're making it up as we go.
Okay.
So,
okay. Well,
yes.
You can get free boxes from the USPS. Those little priority boxes. They expect you to mail things in them, but technically they're free.
Technically.
And how many shirts can I fit in one of those boxes?
You can fit like 3.
two, 3, something like that.
Shirts, okay. Maybe 3 if you roll them.
Okay.
So you're going to need about 1,000.
Okay. I'll put in the order.
No, I was just going to say, pro tip, leave the hangers on the clothes, fold the clothes in half, and you can either throw them in a box or just not at all. But then when you get to the new house, hang them up. That's already done.
So they make hanger boxes. They make large boxes with like a bar in it, and I don't know where you get them. I've seen them though on the TV, and you can just drop all your clothes in and then take them out. I don't know where you find them.
There you go.
I'll look for them.
You can probably just make one, with like a paper towel roll and some hot glue.
Some hot glue.
I'll tell her to pick up some hot glue while she's out too.
Well, duct tape. Make a bar out of a hanger. Yeah.
All right,
guys. Well, as much as I would love this podcast and everything else to be about moving and our experiences with it and how much we loathe it, that's probably not going to appeal to many people at all. So what do you say we talk about some nerdy stuff and get sidetracked while we're doing it?
Yes.
Sound good?
Okay. We already lost
Sounds good. Hey, Sam, watch out. You've got Muppets behind you.
Yes, I do.
Watch out. They look like he was going to attack you. I don't know. And Fonzie just looks like he's trying to run away.
All your things have already
been Hey. Totally messed that up.
You already pack all your little toys? They're all missing.
Mostly they were knocked down by the cats.
Oh, okay.
I still got my...
There we go. That's better. Thank you.
Still got my mushroom behind me.
Sorry, I have something in my eye. That is not fun.
It always felt like you were like in a studio audience with like those were the cast members behind you.
There you go. That's cool, Sam.
My Raz.
All right, there's GT and Cav, fresh from baking cookies. Does it smell like Nestle Toll House?
That's true.
Does it smell like Nestle Toll House?
It does.
Okay.
That's the best.
Okay. That's what's up then. That's good.
It is
good
amazing
deal.
In every way.
Fantastic. See, had you been here to begin with, I would have realized that you can see a pair of my pants drying in the corner, and I would have moved them. But now it's too late. I'm committed to this, so it's okay.
There's
all right, guys.
Those are not my pants.
I didn't say they were your pants. They're my pants. All right, guys. So we've got quite a bit to talk about based on and I did not do a runner at the bottom.
We actually have very little to talk about.
Is it? Okay. Not Octonauts. Goodness gracious. Fall Guy.
Actually, Sea of Thieves.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start there.
Earth 2 Church and I are going to have a long discussion, I'm sure.
Okay. Let's go for it. Go for it. You guys lead the way here on that one.
Oh, I don't know if we want to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, Sea of Thieves is raising funds for cancer research with swanky new Sails of Union. So, as always, I personally love when video game companies allow kind of people that don't do the mainstream stuff to be able to get involved with raising money for things that are important. I think the majority of us have been affected in some way by someone that has dealt with a version of cancer, dealing with it personally right now. So, that's a thing. Cav, answer the question to the wife.
They're cool. They're cooling at the moment. I will report back later.
Well, we may come by because Harper's cookie that she got from McAllister's was rock hard.
Oh,
so
nice.
not sure what's up with that. 3-day-old cookie or something.
Fresh out of the oven.
Yeah. So developers are partnering with Stand Up to Cancer, which is a charity that a lot of sports also do as well. I believe MLB does that. I think NBA as well. But essentially, you are donating for the chance to have sales that will show that you donated and show the consolidated effort. Stand Up to Cancer was kind enough, the article says, to explain that the sales are designed to look like constellations, but aren't modeled after any particular stars. So on them, they have arrows and things like that. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. 75% of the funds raised through the sales of the Sails of Union on Steam, and 100% of the funds on the Microsoft Store will be donated to the cancer research centers in the UK in support of the program, or for purchases made from the US directly to Stand Up to Cancer. So pretty much they're getting 100% of the funding, with the exception of the little bit of caveat for Steam. I think that's fantastic. I mean, that's a fantastic thing. That's a win-win thing. That's, I don't know, it's huge.
It is, and that's a great way for them to really raise money for a really good cause. I think that Sea of Thieves has a lot of options for visual benefits for things like sales and outfits and things like that that could really go a long ways towards these types of causes, and I think it's amazing they're doing it.
And we've seen them and Fall Guys, like you said, you have the customization, auctioning off the ability to make your own stuff through charity to different sponsors. So I'd like to see them doing more of this in the future.
It's similar to like what Bungie does with some of the Bungie stuff, where they do you can buy the emblems or stuff like that with the Bungie charity stuff that they do. You see Bungie do that quite a bit. It's not as specific as like, here's a set of charity armor, although I think they probably could and should do something like that. But they always do. You can buy like the pins and stuff like that, and you get emblems like anytime you do any sort of money raising or whatever, or any sort of charity stuff that Bungie's involved with. You're constantly having the ability to get a new emblem or something like that that's only available for people who donate to charity and whatnot. So.
Okay, good deal. Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's a great thing.
For anybody that hasn't been playing Sea of Thieves, by the way, now's a good time to start, because they have a whole player's guide now in the Pirate Academy that'll teach you all the stuff you need to know day one that they don't actually spell out in the game, which takes forever to figure out.
Dig holes, get gold.
I mean,
anything else?
At the base, I guess that's it. But
that was what I heard.
A lot.
That's because they never really had any kind of tutorial, which is kind of the fun with it, learning with and from your friends. But it's nice that it's been out for several years. They've added a lot more complexity and stuff. So they've been trying to be really forward and making tutorials in their Pirate Academy and documentation to say, hey, here's what you can do now in case you didn't realize or haven't played in a while.
Yeah, because you can't necessarily, the game does not tell you any of it.
No.
You're just kind of making it up and guessing. And
we had Rev teach us a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for him.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, you can shoot people and things out of cannons.
Yes. Cats, people.
And I mean, I remember that from the trailer, and I was like, that looks hilarious. And then I couldn't figure, it's like, it wasn't as fun as it made it look, It was kind of like,
It turns out it's really hard.
Our crew spent like an hour trying to launch themselves onto another person's ship that wasn't moving. So you can definitely go down these rabbit holes of like fun things to do.
Well, and my thing was, I needed someone to be there for me. I was just shooting myself into the water. It wasn't any fun.
Yeah,
right.
So,
well, and that's
but at the time nobody was playing it either.
Exactly, and I think when it first launched, my romantic vision of it was, hey, we're gonna get everybody we play with together on a boat and just run around looking for adventure and treasure, and it's gonna be amazing. And it turns out that, I mean, in a limited capacity, it sort of is that, but a lot of times it really is not.
Well, I think we got there. It just took like 2 years. I think we had that moment just like in early 2020.
That's true. It took a long time to get there.
Go ahead. Yeah, it took a pandemic, is what you're saying.
Yeah, brought us together.
While also separating us.
One of the other articles in the agenda there is talking about kind of the concerns that some people have over the community. There are some people that have actually been able to kind of get together through Discord and places like that to basically take over entire servers for just friendly games. Basically, you don't have to worry about some random guy flying in and just killing you while you're trying to complete like some really hard mission or something,
because they won't make PvE servers. So that's kind of been the workaround, is if you invite everyone into your server, you can kind of make a PvE alliance.
Yeah, sort of like if we were playing Destiny and they allowed some guy to come in the middle of a raid and start shooting up your entire team just to make it harder for everybody. It's not as fun that way.
Yeah, Church would have too much fun with that. Earth One.
He would.
Too much fun with that.
Yeah,
and that's kind of been their thing of wanting to make a good community. So they have their guidelines, but they've been back and forth on how they enforce different forms of trolling and aggression and negativity in it. So they're fighting it and working on it.
Yeah,
sure. So, well, and that was one of the things when I played Sea of Thieves, and granted, I played at the beginning, and I played when there were a few people in our group that were playing it. I would be doing something, and my boat would get blown up, or someone would steal my boat, and it was, for me, it was like, I'm just trying to figure out the game, and I already have somebody like ruining all my fun right now. So
people really make or break it. I mean, we have some amazing interactions with strangers of like sharing treasure and going on adventures together with like 6 people on one boat. And then you have some people that are just there to like harass and kill, and you spend the entire time, you don't get anything done, just defending yourselves or counterattacking. And that's what makes it unique, though. Like when you have a really good day, it's not guaranteed. You can't just go in and farm something. It's always an element of danger. You're always kind of keep that alert out.
Sure,
I suppose that's true.
I've lost too much treasure. I have post-traumatic treasure disorder.
Whatever treasure you think you've lost is nothing compared to what Earth 2 Church and I have lost. Oh my goodness.
So speaking of the perception of the game, there's a streamer that I've watched, Hitbot C, who's based in Oklahoma. One of the things I liked about his channel, talks about Brahms. He moved there from Oregon, and he's staying in his mother-in-law's house while he streams Sea of Thieves and saves money to build and buy his own house.
Until
his mother-in-law says Sea of Thieves is no longer allowed in my house because it's demonic, because there's skeletons and ghosts. And this is the most Oklahoma thing I have ever heard. She's like, no, you're going to burn those Harry Potter books. You can't play that game here. So he's like, well, we're moving out early because this is my life, and I'm not going to give up my income and my games and my community. So that's happening.
That's awesome.
That is pretty funny, though, because I can totally see it.
I can totally
somebody. Yeah, that is so Oklahoma. I can't even I can't even deny that. That's absolutely what it is.
Yeah. That's
craziness. So it's like the lady that was, I think she was in Oklahoma too, that was all over the Monster can. Do you guys remember that? So the Monster Energy cans?
Yeah.
Well, it's something with the M is like an upside down something, and then like all the other like. I mean, I saw she broke every ounce of a can down with all their symbols and how it represents the devil and all this kind of. I'm sure you can find on the internet. And maybe she wasn't from Oklahoma, but it seemed very Oklahoman.
It does.
So yeah. So
I see it.
Interesting.
I'm looking up the cans. Yeah, absolutely.
So while this was not on the agenda, it is at the bottom of the article about our demonic belief of Sea of Thieves. A YouTuber, Logan Paul, apparently pulled out a rare Pokemon card worth $3,000. Did you guys hear about this?
Okay, so if you want to, I haven't heard about this, but let me. If you want to talk about pulling rare Pokemon cards, now here's the thing: like I've never played Pokemon. I have no idea what the cards do or whatever. Like I was an OG Magic player back in the day. There is another YouTube channel, Leonhart54. You have no idea. Like $3,000 is child's play compared to the stuff that he has pulled out of the thing. And what he's been doing, he has 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and all he does is open cards. And it is his passion around it. Like I will watch every one of those videos because he's just so into it, and it's so amazing. So what he's been doing is, with 1 million subscribers, he's raising money for the National Association for Mental Illness. For every $10, whatever that you can donate, he's doing this opening of every Pokemon card, a pack of every Pokemon series ever. So like OG packs, like if you had a Series 1 OG pack, this is the things that I learned. Those packs are like $10,000 a piece. Ooh. Because you can pull a $50,000 or $60,000 card out of it.
So that's essentially the pack that it was a box, and it's got plastic. I mean, got the picture of it. It's a Series 1 edition or first edition limited printing. It says edition 1. It's a yellow box, Pokemon. Well, apparently he has been collecting them for over 2 decades. Didn't know that was even a thing. I mean, I figured it was, but he's been collecting them for 2 decades. So from 1999 till now. And he recently revealed that some of his collection he had been building up, including the first edition Shadowless Charizard that could fetch anywhere between $40,000 to $60,000 at an auction.
Yep.
Wow.
Graded for sure.
And this one, the one that I believe that is his. Yeah, okay. It says that's his hand. 1999 Pokemon card Charizard hologram. First edition, it says number 4, mint 9. Yeah, and it's all graded. Yeah. But PSA graded it. But holy cow. I can't even imagine that.
Yep. It's
apparently
pretty.
Apparently he has a video of him getting it. So I'm not going to waste my time watching that one right now. But anyway, if you're interested in Logan Paul and you're interested in Pokemon, there's a video for you.
Yeah.
If you're only interested in Pokemon, go where Cav told you, because that sounds way more fun.
Oh, it's the dude is. I mean, this guy. He gave up being. I believe he gave up being a lawyer to do this for a living, to open cards or whatever. And he's so into the community and all these things. And yeah, he's literally opening a pack of everything. And like you can see like when he's opening the first edition packs, like he's shaking because like, of course, wouldn't you, if you're opening a $10,000 pack of cards, knowing that you could pull a $50,000 or $60,000 card out of it. And you just got to hope that it's in good condition.
The picture that I saw, it was a box. So I don't know if it was a whole set or what.
But yeah, he might have pulled something out of it. Yeah, it's
pretty crazy.
It's insane. But what this Leonhart guy is doing is everything that he opens for this. If you were donating $10 or whatever, all of this stuff is going to go to one random person. He's not keeping it. He's giving it all away. You're talking about tens of thousands of dollars of cards just to raise money for the National Association for Mental Illness. He's already raised like $100,000 and some odd $1,000. And so it's cool to see somebody with a big community like that, using that community, like you said, with Bungie and with Sea of Thieves, stuff like that, using community to raise money for good. Like that's something that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. And if it's something that you're passionate about, it's easy to get excited, you know? Yeah. So yeah, no, that's fantastic. that's another game I wish I knew how to play. Pokemon. Don't know a thing about it, but Harper's really into it right now, and I'd love to understand it other than just a collecting aspect of things. You know what I mean? But, D&D and Pokemon, things that just kind of missed my childhood. Of course, Pokemon came out after I was, in the market range.
Pokemon age, and the cards, the show, the games, I was like right there in the middle of it. I remember like on the playground, and you like find a corner, and we would play Pokemon cards like in the hallway, or I was 4th grade.
Well, I think thanks for making me feel very old.
I think Magic got banned at some point, similar to the CFP monster problem because of the demonic problem.
So. Pokemon got banned just because of like the drama with kids trading cards.
Yeah.
They were like trade, and then like the parents would get mad of how much yeah.
Trent's got my back. He's gonna hook me up.
All right.
Trent says he'll teach you.
Trent, this is the way.
Yeah. Oh, Matt says it looks like my it looks like my arcade screen is jacked.
Yeah, it's because you got a pineapple.
That's
a pineapple. That is a pineapple.
So speaking of raising money, there is New York Comic Con right now is teaming up with Metaverse and St. Jude to raise money for the St. Jude Children's Hospital, and there are 173 different artists who have contributed work for auction to do that. And I was strolling that this morning. Like, you got Jim Lee stuff in there. There's like Tony Moy. There's some really, really big names and some beautiful artwork. So if you like original pieces, they have comic panel pages. Christy Zulu's in here. Yeah.
New York Comic Con traditionally has a fairly amazing art auction on one of the and it's big. I mean, it is big time stuff. The only thing that probably rivals it is probably Heroes, because Heroes is basically a comic art. That's basically what it is. Comics and comic art. So it's a pretty amazing stuff. And that's the thing. Like, the downside is, because I say downside, it's great for St. Jude's, but since no one had to travel to New York and I have to and actually have to pay to go to New York Comic Con, like where hotel rooms are $400 a night for like a 10x10 closet.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden everybody has a lot more budget than they probably did before.
See? You can spend your hotel money on art. They've currently raised $33,000, and the auction ends October 11th.
Oh, I got time. Yeah, I got time.
Well, and
I got too many other things I gotta deal with for me to buy any more art. We'll see if that actually sticks. But yeah,
the cool thing about all the funds that are being raised for these charities is that they really do take care of people. It's not like, the random one spot thing on MTV about this, that, or the other in a foreign country. Like, they really benefit people that are going to access that right away, and that's really pretty cool. And St. Jude's kind of is an interesting thing that, if you don't know, which, you may not, when Cav and I were kids, and Sam too, you used to have like St. Jude's Walkathon, and like you would raise money and walk, 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever it was. And, that was the big fundraiser that we would do each year at my school, at least. and I enjoyed it because you're helping kids and it's going directly to them. And St. Jude's for me is pretty neat, simply for the fact that people don't have to pay medical bills when they go. They just get the treatment they need, and that's really what it should be. So
it is. Agreed.
I'm not sure what we're talking about here, but that's okay.
Trent said
gotcha. Okay. Totally didn't get it.
Well, here thing. Speaking of raising money, we are, call it a month, a little over, away from Extra Life. The team is up. It is available. And for raising money, I'm working on something. Very fun. It is likely like something. I don't want to announce anything yet because I want to make sure some things are going to put together. But I'm going to have a couple of, at least one, but maybe a couple of prizes that are going to raffle off to raise some dollars. So stay tuned because it's going to be something pretty exciting. We're going to do it the week after the new console launches, I believe. I believe that is the plan. Tell me if I'm wrong, Sam.
No, I think that was the plan.
That is.
Yeah. The week after this, so it's the week after the official weekend. Part of the concern is during the last official weekend, they got DDoSed and like nobody could donate and stuff, and so that became an issue. So I think we're doing the week after, but that's new Destiny DLC's out after that. New consoles are out, and so we'll be making our big push. I believe there's going to be some Among Us that's going to happen. I believe there's probably some Sea of Thieves that is likely to happen, and we're going to break it out over. I believe like tentative, like we've none of this is in stone yet, but we've talked about like a short, like a Friday night preview, and then longer runs Saturday and Sunday. So no overnight stuff because you don't raise any money overnight. Then you're just cranky the next day
because everybody's asleep. That's why.
It's true. You go for the other side of the world contingent, and they just don't come through sometimes.
I make overnight for fun.
That's true. I believe the only rules that we know of right now are no jalapenos for Hannah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So,
yes, that would be that would not be smart.
Yes. Yeah. So
we're kind of getting to the age where the practical jokes on ourselves probably aren't the wisest thing for us to do. Especially in the age of Rona, where we don't want to necessarily go to the hospital.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You have to wear the shirt that says that. Yeah.
Yep. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we've got some. I'm sure we'll have some other people because Earth 2 Church wasn't around for last year, so shenanigans abound.
You just take off those rails on the churches, and it's going to get crazy.
Yeah. So I think kind of and we're sort of planning this while we're talking about it, and viewers, whatever, chime in here. I think it would be fun to have a StreamYard up like this with all of us as we're playing, and then if everybody has their own individual streams up as well, where you could basically, and we can basically, in our names at the bottom, we can basically link to where we are. It might be chaos. It might be chaos. It might be something. I guarantee you this is Trent that says I will play video games for 24 hours. I'm sure that you will. So, but yeah, so it's going to be exciting. More on that. So
I will still pay money to sponsor Nick to watch Firefly.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Multiple people will chip into that.
Is there an easy way to watch it? We went over this, but I forgot.
Yeah. I think
we have
Sam
DVDs.
or Church has DVDs they can loan you.
We also have a digital copy.
Okay.
I have a copy I can loan you. It's just I'm in a different state, so
I'm not opposed to watching it, guys.
Enough people own this that it'd be pretty easy to get you.
I just never did watch it. It's kind of like the other night when I think I sent this message to you guys. Maybe I didn't. But I've been kind of in a weird headspace lately. So I've been going back to a lot of like childhood things that I enjoyed. And Star Trek was one of them. And so Firefly. Star Trek was one. Well, I started at Deep Space Nine because I really liked that show. And I had forgotten that episode 1 was in response to Jean-Luc being turned into a Borg. Like I totally forgot that. And so those first 6 minutes or so, I was like, "Oh my gosh! Now I've got to go back and watch this."
So awesome.
Yeah. So it's just it is what it is. But anyway, kind of shifting gears a little bit with relation to what we've been talking about. But what do you guys think about the news that Los Angeles Comic-Con is going to attempt to have a Comic-Con?
Like next year, right?
Like in December.
No, like this year.
Like tickets went on sale this week.
Oh, that's interesting.
December 11th through the 13th is the game plan. And they are currently selling multi-day or VIP tickets, and they went on sale on Tuesday. So what do you guys think about that? Because LA has continued to be a very locked down place for a lot of reasons, but they're pretty much still under safer at home orders. But apparently, maybe this might be able to be able to happen. But what do you think?
I don't understand it. I think it's a matter of time before the city and or state steps in and says, you're a bunch of idiots.
Well, to be fair, though, they are renting an entire convention center, which gives them nearly 1.2 million square feet, which is twice as much space as they have ever used before. So conceivably, even though that's a lot of people,
and they're only selling half
the right
as many
amount
tickets.
Right. And given the right amount of precautions, perhaps it could pull off, but it's going to really affect a lot of cosplays too, if you think about it.
Yeah. I don't know how you can do it safely.
I don't know.
You can't do it.
Crowd of people in, and then you have the concern of like, do vendors want to go if you're limiting the number of customers, basically? So
do artists want to go because they're usually at a lower level than the people?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Down. So, yeah, I mean, there's some of that too.
And that's really why people go is for like the guests and the artists. So
and they go for the cost. I mean, there are so many facets of a Comic-Con that will be inherently affected if you have to stay 6 feet apart and you have to wear a mask. And I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm just saying like you have to think logistically. The space is great. That's a great way to manage it, but I mean, you got to do like those stores, like one-way traffic, it's just crazy. And
but everybody's already wearing a mask anyway.
Everyone's going to be Spider-Man.
Right. But to be fair, though, I mean, how many times, Cav, have you and I sat at a Comic-Con talking to somebody within 6 feet for longer than 15 minutes?
All the time.
Literally all the time. So with that
literally,
in mind, yeah, but I mean, with that in mind, essentially everybody there is in a place of exposure. You see what I'm saying? It's like how do you manage that?
You're talking about all it takes is one asymptomatic person, right, and then all of a sudden you've got 5,000, 10,000. I mean, do the math, people.
Well,
it doesn't take
let's
much.
say for a minute that maybe they have 1,000 people, right? If one person is asymptomatic but tests positive, or for some reason takes a test after that, all of those people they'd have to go in quarantine because there's no way to trace that.
Yeah,
well, then that's 1,000 people that potentially end up affecting other people. It's just And
by the time you trace 1,000 people, those people have affected. Yeah, it's just not. This is not a great idea. I mean, I get why they want to do it, a return to normalcy and things like that. But the thing is, like, you look at like what DC did. You look at what New York Comic Con's doing. San Diego was kind of a bust, okay, but they were the first ones really out of the gate. Like, there are other ways. And here's the thing: I don't know how you get any celebrities, period, showing up.
Hang on a second. I got to do the series here. Sorry.
So,
did anybody follow the PAX/EGX convention?
I did not.
I thought they did a really good job. They did all their panels live, and then they also had a recording so you could watch them later. They had the way they do their panels is they have like individual rooms where they just do them throughout the day, and so it felt like a very similar feeling to the show where, if you go to this particular convention hall, you watch, these panels on this day, and there's still a live recording of everything that happened in that hall on that day sitting around on YouTube so anybody can watch it. And they had good links to all of the presenters, I guess you'd call them, all the vendors that were there, and special events and trailers and demos and all kinds of fun stuff that really made you feel like while you weren't necessarily there were a lot of social opportunities and you were still getting that feeling and that the benefit out of the convention. I thought it was great.
I mean, so I don't is it because of stuff like that? I don't understand why you take this risk right now.
The worst part about cons is the crowds. So in a way, it could be a good thing.
Here's the thing:
limit the numbers, but it's too much of a risk.
Con crud is a thing Even without a pandemic.
A plague.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a great point because it doesn't matter if you take COVID out of the whole equation. There's already people that are inherently going to be ill after this because of the sheer amount of people they interact with. It happens to Cav and I both. It has not happened to me in a while, but that first year, absolutely it did. The second year, absolutely. And if you, let's say that it's not a commuting thing. Let's say that, those people are not in Los Angeles, and I realize that's a huge area. But let's say that people from out of state come to this. I mean, that's just a whole other problem too. So I don't know, man. It seems very risky.
I think this comes apart before then, and you have as much as I don't want to think that a supervillain might be running Los Angeles Comic-Con, let me put this hat on for a second. You get people who are excited, want to go to convention, whatever. They spend money on tickets, and I'd be really curious what the real fine print on those tickets are. As in, if we cancel the show, we will hold over your tickets until next year. No refund option. We'll hold them over until next year. Then all of a sudden, they get, let's just say, $10,000 or $50,000 worth of ticket sales, so they can sit in an interest-bearing account for a year, and then people get tickets next year. I'd hate to think that someone was that diabolical, but I mean, in a world where Elon Musk exists, I'm certain that somebody has thought of this. Flamethrowers for everybody.
I still want one.
You can make one pretty easily for a lot cheaper.
But I want somebody that's smart. I want somebody that's smarter than me to make one because I don't want to blow up my hands.
I think someone that's smarter than you would not want to make one.
So it's interesting because his design, the Elon Musk flamethrower, they took the body of a shell from an airsoft rifle. People found the original design. So there was just a lot of kind of sourcing and coupling together. I've seen videos; they look pretty sweet, and they're not any more dangerous than one you would just make yourself. But like a real supervillain.
It's like that ad, that classified ad in the in the paper asking for minions. I can't pay you anything, But if we succeed, you will be rich beyond measure.
I really need to measure it.
Yeah, I need measurable. I need measurable success.
Yeah.
Well, kind of along the same realm of things that we've talked about here. Have you guys seen the Spider-Man remaster for PS5?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to get mad. Okay, the graphics look amazing. It looks really cool what they're doing. The draw distance, the water reflections, but there's no reason to replace Peter Parker's face. I spent 60 hours in that game. I grew attached to that guy. He was awesome. He was Peter Parker. I have all his memories. And they're like, hey, we're just going to recast the actor 3 years later, even though this was an award-winning game and he did a phenomenal job. Unnecessary.
Tell us how you really feel. Okay, do you want the technical reason behind it? Do you know the technical reason behind why they did it?
Because Sony wants to recast them in Spider-Man 2, so they're like, hey, let's just retcon 1.
Yes. Jamie Foxx is coming back in Spider-Man as Electro. He won't be blue. But
that's the movie.
The technical justification, and I'm not saying I agree with it, is they needed because PS5 the fidelity is so much higher. They needed somebody who more closely matched the face of the voice actor. So basically, the voice matches up better. And so that's why Yuri Lowenthal, who I believe does the voice for Peter Parker, I believe that's the case. He posted on there, "This is my fault. Blame the bones in my face." So I believe that's the technical reason behind it. But the internet's pissed.
I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because Sam and I went through the Halo remasters, and you could toggle with a button back and forth. So it's really interesting. You have these games that they weren't mapped on anyone. Like for the Cortana, the Johnson, everyone looks a lot different in the remasters. Like they actually got mapped on faces. Like they don't even look anything like the original, but it's okay. It was like polygons back in the day, and now they look like real people.
Keys and Miranda Keys. Oh my goodness.
It's entirely different. But again, this is like a person, like an actor. Like we had your face, and then we fired your face. Like we stripped you out of this game, and I don't feel bad.
Hannah. I don't know about how I feel about Hannah having the Gather the Nerds account right
now. I really like the John Lick is a Borg. Gather the Nerds.
There goes all our credibility.
Credibility win.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean,
that's going on the Instagram.
Staying on the supervillain thing. OG Peter Parker is going to be a DLC, and they're going to charge you $5 to go back to the old face.
And what I think the fan community, when you look at it, the Peter Parker for Spider-Man 1 was like older, more mature Spider-Man, and now this guy that they cast looks like Tom Holland. So everyone's like, "Oh, they just want to align with the movies. We're back to a boyish Tom Holland guy," which I'm sure he'll do a great job. No hate to the new actor. It's just I was attached to the old one.
Yeah.
It's a story. I wouldn't care if they did it in pre-production or anything. It's just that this is 3 years ago, and I've already played all the way through this, and it was great. I have all these good memories with this kid. Now he's gone. I'm never buying the remaster.
Well, eventually they'll bring him back. He's the Michael Keaton
in the multiverse.
The remaster part, though, like apparently that's hidden behind the Ultimate Edition Spider-Man Miles Morales. So, like the general public in general is not gonna have to endure the pain and suffering that you have endured or would have endured.
Well, they're selling Miles Morales as a standalone on PS4, so that's where my money's going. And I'm sorry, Sam, I'm gonna hang on to my PS4 for a little bit longer. Miles Morales, but I'm not gonna get the remaster. I have the original, and it's not that old. Like it's still, Halo. They did like 10 years. It was like a big change.
How long do you have to wait before you get a remaster or something?
Yeah. And especially when it's all mostly backwards compatible, I think I heard even. Is that correct? Anyone? Like you can play.
They're trying. I don't know. They've made any promises.
Because you can play. Okay.
I think it's 5 and 4, but I don't know how far back you can actually.
Well, I think you could play Spider-Man on the PS5, right? So you don't really need to buy the remaster.
That's true.
Oh, you're probably you're probably right.
Yeah.
But you can't play Ultimate Spider-Man from the PS2 on the PS5, and that's really the only thing I care about.
That's a shame. They should remaster that, and then I wouldn't care whose face they put into it.
They don't have to. It's all cel-shaded. It would look amazing.
No, I've seen the video. I went back and watched clips because when the new Spider-Man came out, they did side-by-side. They had the game designer that made Spider-Man 2. They made him play the new one because he's the guy who invented like the free roaming city swinging mechanics. Like
not 2, Ultimate.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
It's kind of like with Borderlands, whenever you take those graphics from one generation to the next. I mean, it actually translates really well.
I agree with you now.
Okay,
2 was really good too, though.
I'm struggling to pay too much attention right now because I realize that you have a Michelangelo behind you.
He does.
What? That's been there for every stream I've ever been on. You just
not noticed that until just now.
Yeah,
legit.
It's my airsoft target or my Nerf target.
Wait, didn't you tell the story about picking it up at Target and all the kids being super jealous?
Yeah, it was on clearance, 50% off. So I put him in the cart. I raise his hands up so he's cheering, and I'm pushing him through. And every kid is just like, grabbing their mom's arm and pointing. And the parents were like, "I hate you for buying that." And every kid wanted it. I was the coolest kid in Target because I had a job. Suck it.
That's when you were like, hashtag thug life.
Yeah. This is what adulting is, kids. You can buy toys whenever you want.
Yeah.
Stay in school.
Speaking of crushing dreams, we might want to get into some Shia LaBeouf.
Okay.
So,
I have a question first. Before we get to this one, I have a question for all of you. Have you guys seen the movie Hot Rod with Andy Samberg?
No.
It's one of the best companies ever made. Okay, there's a clip into it where he's a stunt guy, right? and he's luging down this hill, and he crashes into this guy's like mobile camper in his driveway. And the guy comes out, he's pissed. He's like, "What are you doing? You wrecked my trailer!" And Andy Samberg's buddy just comes out of nowhere, nails the guy with a trash can, and just pummels him. And he screams. He takes the guy's hat, and he screams, "This is my hat now! Totally my hat!" And it's one of the best scenes of the movie. Real life, Shia LaBeouf is getting misdemeanor charges because he fought a dude and stole his hat. This is millionaire Shia LaBeouf just for like, I want my hat now. You fight me, I'm taking your hat. Stole the guy's football cap, and he's facing charges.
Are you saying or he should be holding Andy Samberg responsible for this?
I'm just saying, life imitates art, and it's amazing. And everyone should watch Hot Rod because it's real life.
I'm just confused as to why he keeps getting himself in fights.
That's a good question.
I mean,
we've killed Earth-2 Church. He's going down.
Is he the guy from Mr. Robot that like pays people to just beat him up? Is that what happens?
I don't know. His life's amazing. So here's the real story. Every week, Hannah posts the Mace Windu decapitation into the cut. And every week, I can find a Shia LaBeouf story that's 5 minutes old that's just ridiculous. Like, the news never ends. He's always doing something. Like, what did he do this week? He fought a dude and stole his hat.
Perhaps we should have held that one off because I don't even know if I want to go on after this.
I mean, what are we going to talk about? Cursing parrots?
I don't know, but just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Holy cow!
WWSD.
Man. We're just gonna leave that right there. He's with us. So is he like? Hold on, I got to go the other way. So is this like the evil thing over the shoulder? Like I can't quite see where I'm at there. Not there. Like, unfortunately, you can't move that graphic very easily. So come on, StreamYard. I need to be able to move some graphics around so I can make things not appear as they are.
I just imagine on the other shoulder is like a different Shia LaBeouf. It's like 10-year-old even Steven Shia LaBeouf. Like, don't do
that. Somebody, probably Hannah, had a comment that we might consider.
Oh, there we go. Let's see here. What if he's the one who punched Rick Moranis? Then he needs to go to jail. Rick Moranis is a Canadian treasure. At this point, deport Shia LaBeouf, put him in that giant whatever pit of something you can find on Brazil and Flight Simulator, never to return. You do not, under any circumstance, assault Rick Moranis.
Any circumstance.
I don't care who you are. It is unacceptable.
Did you see Ryan Reynolds apologize for that?
Yeah. Let me tell you how serious this is. If Keanu Reeves was the one who did that, his career is over.
Keanu would never do it.
Exactly.
No,
and that's why he's our hero.
Yeah.
WWKD, what would Keanu do?
You were the chosen one.
You were supposed to save us, not destroy us.
Speaking of scary chasms on video games, Kev, why don't you let us in on this one here?
Apparently, there's a giant black hole looking thing in Flight Simulator. I have not played the game. But apparently you can land in it and try and take off out of it.
That's awesome.
The new Flight Simulator is supposed to be amazing just from a detail standpoint.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I wouldn't play it just for that.
It is on Game Pass for PC. If you happen to have that, it is part of that. Gathalion was basically taking people on a tour of Tampa in a plane, flying over people, and he landed on the beach. He's like, "This is the steakhouse." I think it was like Freddy's or something. He's like, "This is the steakhouse, and this is whatever." Like, because the satellite imagery updates basically live. Like it's up to date imagery. So as new satellite imagery gets basically taken or whatever, the game updates automatically, which is absolutely insane. So and Call of Duty, let me put it this way. Call of Duty with its 190 gigs or whatever it is of 500 terabytes download, you have to play Call of Duty. In Flight Simulator, the entire world is like 60 gigs. The entire planet. Call of Duty, come on.
That's because they're not.
Come on, son. Let's go. But then again, Destiny is also 100 and some odd gig. Public service announcement. If you're going to get Beyond Light, and Destiny's going to do all of its like cleanup and stuff like that, you are literally going to have to download the entire game again. Ugh. When it releases 60 to 70 gig, you're going to have to download the whole thing again. So when the time comes, they said they're gonna open up preload like a day or something before, so you've got some time. But just FYI, be ready for that because you're gonna have to download the entire game.
What'd you say it was called? Destiny 3?
Destiny Beyond Light.
Oh, okay.
Destiny 1.5?
There is no Destiny 3.
It's like basically Destiny 3, though, right?
Well, they said
Destiny 2 3/4.
Yeah, we're on Destiny like 2 and probably 2.75 by now. So we'll probably get 25 more DLCs before Destiny 3. You're probably right.
They're making you like reinstall the whole thing. They're just tricking you into downloading Destiny 3.
Well, it's because they are getting rid of so much stuff that they're basically saying, all right, here's the deal. We don't have a good cleanup procedure. So basically our cleanup procedure is you download this update, it's going to uninstall the old one and install the new one.
Yeah.
So, right. I mean, that's really what it is. So, yeah. So Flight Simulator, people having a lot of fun with it. There is some weird little vortex thing going on in
Brazil.
And I think it's Brazil, isn't it? Was I right about that? I was fairly confident in that. And yeah, it's just one of those weird things where you get, for whatever reason, satellite imagery looks funny, but apparently there's an airport in it that you can land in.
Like it is actually an airport. It's Lagoa Nova Airport in Brazil.
So, like
in Rio Grande do Norte.
Yeah. So I don't know. At some point, if I have installed Flight Simulator,
by the way,
we're gonna have
to.
No,
I think Oklahoma would be Rio Grande.
Rio Grande.
Rio Grande. I need a grande burrito.
Need to go to Rio Grande.
So yeah,
true.
But you should not be able to miss the giant
void I just in the middle of Brazil. That's on that article.
It's
and
the abyss.
Video on that article is pretty crazy. Like they just kind of stopped moving after they made it all the way down, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about these birds at the zoo in London that needed to be removed for their foul mouths?
Foul birds. Nice one. All right, so here's the funniest thing about that entire thing, which is I post that article in the agenda chat in one of the generals. I don't remember which one. Mm-hmm. And not long after that, Earth2 Church posts the exact same article. And it is really one of those like stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends moments? Because I'm just like, we clearly have the same sense of humor about this kind of thing.
Oh, I just copied your link and then repasted it. It was shenanigans. I put it in the shenanigans chat because it was shenanigans.
So yeah, you have birds who basically that were donated. Clearly, they came from a rough neighborhood. Some kind.
The zookeepers just wanted to see what would happen.
That's what everyone does with birds. Like, let's see what I can make them say.
Yeah, and basically they just started cursing at people. And not subtle, even somewhat polite curses either.
No.
Is there a polite curse?
We're going to tell you exactly what they say right now.
Yeah. I mean, the birds weren't saying "damn." Let me put that.
Well, they teach each other, which is crazy. It's not just like one bird was taught by like a human, then it like propagates. Kind of like in Hunger Games with the Mockingjays, right? That's what's happening.
Yeah, it was. That's true. The internet people are going crazy. It is a. I mean, apparently "f off" is the most common one.
Of course,
that they would say, which is amazing as a parrot. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like, here's the thing: like, is there a rated MA DLC for Sea of Thieves where you could have parrots who are so foul that they will curse at you? Like,
man,
they should be. It was Sea of Thieves After Dark server. We can just do whatever we want.
But it only does. It only does it if you launch it out of a cannon. Can you shoot a parrot out of a cannon?
No.
Oh, I don't think so. I think just cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And monkeys.
Well,
cats and monkeys.
Is that because cats always land on their feet?
I mean, yeah.
In the water.
I think the birds would just kind of fly off, so you would just have like a shooting up trajectory. Yeah.
Oh, there goes my bird. So yeah, and to take in a swearing parrot isn't a usual thing. They say it happens 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You gotta think, though, I mean, if you had a parrot, you would probably want it to say goofy things. You know?
Yeah, that's what people do. That's the joy of having a parrot.
Yeah.
Well, that is true.
It's like parrots and 3-year-olds. You can get them to say the weirdest stuff. It's great.
Yeah, but you got to watch the 3-year-olds because they'll repeat them at the wrong time.
So will parrots. That's the whole problem.
That was my point.
Apparently, they said the pandemic has led to a surge in donations of, I guess, cursing parrots as owners spend more time with the birds and decide to give them to parks that can provide them with a larger living space.
That's so sad.
He says, we would normally take in 1 or 2 parrots in a fortnight. Today, we took in 8.
Do you realize, though, do you realize, though, that some of these people might have decided to get rid of their birds because they were on a Zoom call and their birds, you know,
can't get rid of a 3-year-old.
Right. Now, my cousin has a parrot. Every time we play games, it's just like screaming throughout the whole house. Like they're really loud. They're not indoor creatures.
Right.
They're jungle creatures.
Nice.
They're definitely jungle creatures. So
they need to be in the woods and the jungle with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the predators to be as loud as they want.
Oh.
All right. Do we want to talk about Taylor Swift's Baseball Magic is back? Do we want to talk about Fall Guys?
Cav, explain to us Taylor Swift's Baseball Magic. I just looked at the pictures. I didn't actually read any of the article.
I didn't put this in here. I don't know anything about this.
I just looked at the pictures of Taylor Swift. I figured you could explain to me the baseball part.
Somebody needs to know what that means. And we assumed it'd be you.
I'm reading through this.
I'm reading it right now, too.
I figured you or Earth One Church could help us understand what was going on.
But nobody's heard from him, so.
Something about the Dodgers. Something about the city of Ant. Something about a
she releases a new album and she picks the World Series winner, apparently. Whenever she releases a new album.
In 2012 and 2014, she released a new album, which on each occasion was followed by the San Francisco Giants winning the World Series. A relationship that's Swifty, according to the title, or the interweb. Title from correlational to causal.
Hannah doesn't know what's going on either.
Based on the overwhelming evidence, such as the Giants' utter lousiness in 2011 and 13, the triumph of even-year teams that were less than best in baseball caliber. The championship rings on fingers of players no one was quite sure were actually Major League Baseball players.
So when's the World Series this year?
It's a few weeks from now.
Okay, so the Giants are going to win because Taylor Swift released an album in an even year?
Are the Cardinals out? Did the Cardinals lose their series?
Yeah, they lost it to the Padres last night in the wild card. I don't care. But Clayton Kershaw says if you don't like Taylor Swift, you're just lying to yourself.
True.
I mean,
he needs to just shake it off, all right? Just shake it off.
Wow. We really went there. We really did.
It's a great
Listen, I have sang and danced to that song to get Harper to brush her teeth, okay? I have done it. So
you did
my game there.
You do what you got to do.
That's right. That's right. Okay, well, anyway, so that's the point of that article. I guess this year she must have picked the Giants.
Okay.
Find that a little hard to believe, but maybe.
Oh, man.
We shall see.
So Fall Guys Season 2 comes out next week, which is awesome. And one of the things they're adding is like 300% more crowns. Crowns are like the elusive thing you want to get when you win a game, which is really hard to do because there's 59 other people. Really hard to do.
Most of them cheat.
No, they've got rid of cheaters. I haven't seen anyone in a while.
That's true. It's been a while.
Yeah, they used Epic's anti-cheat engine, and I haven't seen anyone since.
Yeah.
But now, as through experience and through in games, they'll give you crowns as rewards. So they're adding in 21 crowns, or 18 more. Yeah, so 21 crowns as rewards. Because that's the best costumes, the best stuff is usually 5 crowns a piece. Nice.
That's the best costume. You win.
That's the best costume.
This is my crown.
That would cost you 5 crowns in Fall Guys, and then you need another 5 crowns for like the Stormtrooper pants.
That's right.
This is not a Stormtrooper.
It's not. What's a white?
This
is
the
Boba?
Prototype.
Prototype. Yeah, we can hear you. It's a prototype. It's a prototype Boba Fett.
Prototype armor.
That's awesome. And when's Mandalorian come out? That's October, right?
October 30th.
October 30th. I started season 1 again, just to get ready.
Yeah, I gotta be prepared.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Nice. More crowns for everybody.
Yay! I mean, that's really what's been killing us. You get the really basic currency just from playing, but the really fancy currency,
like faceplates, the really cool costumes are the fancy currency.
Yeah, and you have to actually win, and it is really difficult to win.
You have to win a lot. It's like you have to win 10 or 20 games to get the really good costumes.
I have never won. Earth 2 Church, you won
twice. Twice. I almost won last week, but only twice in all the hours we played. Yeah,
so many hours.
Good though.
It is so good. A lot of fun. We're enjoying it.
Okay. So, next up, are we talking about the iPhone leak or someone that got caught by Apple for recycling iPhones?
I think either one, really. Like, it's the...
I think they're... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like, this iPhone 12 thing has been such a shenanigan from the beginning. Like, so many leaks, so many things. I don't even know what is real anymore and when it's actually going to actually release, because it was like, oh, it's going to get released at this last thing. You know, here's some iPhone 12 pricing from the Apple Rumors Twitter, because that sounds legit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're talking about, you know, all this other stuff, you know, 4 different versions and all this other jazz. At this point, like, I don't know if Apple can really do anything that is really gonna like super excite me about a phone anymore. Like,
well, but you already have an iPhone. I think the question is, if they do drop the price of the 12, is that going to bring anyone over from the other side?
It
like,
should.
They're not trying to convince
the other
you.
side sucks.
They're trying to convince smart people to do something different.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've been, you know, we were kind of looking at the new 11s, and then I saw that the 12 may be coming out. So I'm going to give it until the 14th, which was supposedly when they're going to announce it.
I read that. 13. Just wait for the 13.
Yeah, why not?
Wait for the 13.
Yeah. So
then you can get a cheap resold 12 for half price.
Yeah, pretty much. Bring
it all together.
Speaking of resold items, apparently a Canadian electronics recycling company was caught illegally selling 100,000 Apple devices that were supposed to be recycled.
Well, the point of recycling is reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah. Thanks, Captain Planet.
They were doing it.
They were doing it.
They were reducing waste in landfills. Thank you, Canada.
Yeah, you know, that cobalt in the batteries will probably really screw things up in the ecosystem. But yeah, you're right. I
don't know what's illegal about it.
Well, apparently, Apple specifically had directed them to strip the parts and not actually do the other 2 parts of the...
Yeah, it's like when Walmart throws out clothes, they have someone go with a box knife and slash up all the clothes so they can't be put to good use.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the unfortunate side of it.
Makes me very suspicious of what they mean by recycle. Gotta burn it all.
The company claims they were not aware of the scheme that was being run by the 3 employees.
Even though the 3 employees were, wasn't it like 3 of the executives?
Yeah. 3 of the 4 employees.
Oh man, that just goes to show you they pay attention, I guess. So.
Speaking of paying attention,
fall guy.
Fast and Furious 9 has been delayed again.
Yeah. Oh, so is James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Harper, you know, I don't even know what to say about the Fast and Furious stuff. So it is what it is.
It takes time to film in space.
It does.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It takes a while for that sound to get to the microphone too, right? Yeah. So, it is what it is. It's delayed until, looks like,
forever.
May 2021.
May 28th. Yeah, May 2021. So we'll see.
2021 is going to be the biggest year in the history of movies.
It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
We've been waiting to release all these movies until now.
You're right.
Oh, James Bond it's not in the agenda, but James Bond, not long after that announcement, they announced James Bond was being pushed from November to April of 2021. And that's the movie that we talked about, like, originally when the pandemic started, about what was going to happen to James Bond, because it's a $200 million movie and they've already spent all the money and they can't release it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Tenet was kind of used as an experiment. By the way, excellent film.
Fantastic.
Fantastic film.
But it bombed money-wise. So.
Because no one was in the theater. Like, the only reason I went is I'd been watching the theaters or whatever, and 2 minutes or 5 minutes roughly before the movie starts, because I live like 4 minutes from the theater, nobody was in the theater. Nobody had bought a single ticket. So I'm like, I'm in. So I bought a ticket, went to the movie. And then, like, right before the movie starts, after the preview, 2 people walked in. And you can tell where people are sitting. And they want to sit like 4 chairs over from me. So they take their seats. I get up and I go to the very back of the theater. Like, I get as far away from them as I can.
There's so much space.
There's a lot of space.
And they had to be right there.
Exactly.
Well,
like,
in their defense, Cav probably picked the best seat.
You're not wrong.
Centralized video and audio experience, he picked the best seat, guaranteed.
You're not wrong. I mean, no.
I've gone to a movie with you. I know.
One thing that I do find very interesting is, like, they've been doing those. Cinemark's been doing those private screenings, where basically you can get a whole theater by yourself on the weekend for like $149 or whatever it is.
Alamo does it too.
Yeah, now they're starting to do it during the week and during the weekday, and you can get a whole theater to yourself for as little as $50.
Oh wow.
And so, like,
because they're broke, we need to take advantage.
That's exactly what it is. And so, I mean, when they're playing cool movies like Empire, like, I'll go sit in Empire and have the whole theater to myself, like, for $50, because that would just be a cool experience. So, I mean, they did that with the 66 Batman movie. I'd be in.
So, can you bring friends?
Yes, up to 20 people, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we had an entire theater to ourselves, we could space out, socially distant, everything would be fine.
20 people, $50. I mean, that is an incredible bargain.
20 people
I want to go see a movie with. It's you
20
guys.
people at even 20 people at $150 is still an amazing bargain.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And so, so I mean, that would be, like I said, you just kind of 4 corners in the middle, top. So, like, you can get people in there. Be awesome.
You have, like, family members and stuff that you're already in the same circles with. Yeah.
Yeah. So
now we're Venn diagramming circles now, man.
Yeah.
We live in Oklahoma. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's sadly true. Yeah.
So it's gonna be, I don't know, like, it's without all these big releases and stuff, it's gonna be very interesting what theaters actually survive.
Well, I think the Mulan experiment failed too, right?
Well, I think, in my opinion, it probably flopped a little bit, but it's because the price to rent it will be the same to buy it.
It's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, but I don't know anyone that actually went in on it. Like,
they're
already paying for the service, so, like, you're potentially already paying anywhere from $6 to $15 per month, and then they give you this option to rent it, not even like keep it, and it's the same price that if you're just patient enough for when it comes out on DVD. Or Blu-ray,
VHS.
And I hate this 2021 delays. I just don't know what their alternatives is. Like, the Tenet experiment didn't work, the Mulan experiment. So releasing it now, releasing it on demand, and this wonky model doesn't work. I just don't want to wait.
I mean, honestly, the only one that's been successful about this. So Mulan made, like, originally somebody announced that Mulan made $200 million or because of some number, but then, like, an actual analyst said, yeah, you totally did those numbers wrong. and they ended up being like 60 or 70 million. Now, I believe Mulan this weekend, or maybe in the next couple weekends, is coming to the rest of the rental platforms.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't tell you how badly it failed, that tells you everything. Because for $6, sure. For $30,
Right. That was my thing. Is like, for $30, if I'm going to the movie theater, we're going to go in the midday, so it'd be a matinee price.
Yeah.
And we might spend $30 with popcorn and maybe a drink or two, right? Like maybe we might even get close to 40 at that point. But for me to sit in my own house and pay that price, that's crazy. Yeah, there was no way. And I would like to see it, and I think Harper would like to see it, but I don't got it like that. I'm not paying $30 to sit in my house and watch a movie.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this: if they did the Trolls World Tour model, which was $20, does that change things?
$20 rental?
We didn't do that.
I think it's a 20 purchase. I think it's a straight up purchase.
If it's a purchase, sure. If I can watch it anytime I want, no problem.
Because that's the normal purchase price.
Because Trolls World Tour, when they did that or whatever, it made a fortune. But it was also the first people it was the first one to do it, and people were like, I need entertainment, and so do my kids. Here, watch Trolls 97 times.
And I mean, ultimately, that's really what I think influenced that a little bit. I don't doubt that it was good from a musical standpoint, but from the entertainment side of it, absolutely. Because those first couple of months here, kind of being, before school got back in session and all that, like, man, I'm telling you, it was tough, especially with a younger kid. Older kids, where they kind of go and do their own thing, it's not nearly as bad, I wouldn't think, other than just they're bored. But when you have an only child that's a younger kid, like that's tough. Or you have a lot of littles, that's just a lot. I mean, parenting isn't always just all fun and cool pictures. Sometimes you got to actually do some stuff, and it gets exhausting pretty quick. So,
if they did Black Widow for $20 purchase, I do that right now.
Honestly, I think if you did a 4K or whatever, I think you could get away with Black Widow for $30. I honestly do.
If they did if a high quality, own forever, like I'm already going to buy it, and that's about my ticket price. So
yeah, I think you're. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that's where Milan went wrong. Was it was $30 to rent?
But you kept it as long as you were a Disney Plus subscriber.
But that's just a terrible plan as well. Like I have a multi-year Disney Plus subscription, but I'm still not ever going to do something like that. I want the flexibility.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing is potentially if people continue to become unemployed, maintaining that subscription might be the difference between buying some groceries. And so you lose that $30 on top. Like that's just insult to injury at that point. Now, granted, you may not be concerned about that in that moment, but in the larger scheme of economics and just just dealing with people, that's kind of the fallout of it.
I honestly had one of those moments. I was going to buy stuff to make spaghetti for the house a couple days ago, and I go and I check out, and it was like $4. It's like I could eat for like 3 days on $4. Like just like it's the granted I would eat pasta every day if I could, but like you said, like it's that $30 you're spending, that's a lot in terms of food and stuff like that for somebody. So I mean, there's a lot of it's a lot of pasta.
Well, and I mean, if you're thinking, that's a lot of ramen. Like if you really needed like an individual meal, I mean, that is a lot of ramen. And while that's not the greatest food source, it's better than nothing. And
I believe that is.
With that. So
I believe that is roughly because what did I do? I believe you can fill a 5-gallon bucket with less than $30.
The only person I know that would actually remember that. Have that data point.
Yeah, I do have that. When we're done with the show, I'll tell the story. Earth 2 Church, don't leave after we're done live. I'll tell you this story on how I remember.
Left that I see, and I didn't put it in there, so I'm not really sure I can give it the audience that it needs. But something about a Bungie acquisition.
So Microsoft, there's all these rumors about. There's these initial rumors that Microsoft was going to buy Bungie, and then that deal fell apart because the price was too high, and that is why they bought Bethesda. Is because Bungie doesn't want to do it. We're going to buy To me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because if they offered Bungie $7 billion, Bungie would have taken it. What somebody found out is they were continuing to dig into this thing, and when there is a company acquisition in the works, there is kind of a company officer role that is filled or placed in whatever in that particular company, and somebody found that for Bungie. So everybody said, "Oh, these rumors are true after all," and I believe it's the president or the CEO of Bungie. I answered all on Twitter. His tweet just says, "Nope." that is the official word from Bungie. But a lot of people were thinking because, Bungie and Microsoft worked, obviously Bungie and Microsoft, you have the Halo connection, which goes back a long time. And the fact that Destiny just came to Game Pass, that Bungie and Microsoft are clearly working closely together. And if Microsoft is going to go on the studio buying spree, then Bungie does make sense, because how else would you fix Halo than to bring in some of the OG, like maybe not Halo Infinite, but going forward to bring some of that talent in could be really good for Halo. But
that's 343.
That's 343 now.
I mean, they were saw that. Thank you.
Yeah,
they were the OG Halo developers. They were,
but it wasn't Bungie the OG Halo developers.
Yeah, but 343 is made up of a whole bunch of people from Bungie.
They split off.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't know what the split.
Like the people that I remember from all the community updates way back when I was a big fan and keeping track of those weekly messages, they're the same ones being referenced, from 343 now. And the people in the current Bungie updates, I'm like, I have no idea who any of you are, and I don't know what's going on.
but is it not fair to say that Halo has somewhat lost its way?
I mean, yeah.
You look at Halo 4 and Halo 5. Not to say that Destiny hasn't. I mean, because it has. But
they're killing it on the Master Chief Collection on PC. Their support for that has been phenomenal.
Has been, it's the.
You're so right.
Just shore up that talent. Can you imagine if you got like new Bungie talent, old Bungie talent, like?
Oh, it makes sense.
Super Studio.
Nah, they fight.
Who am I fighting? Am I fighting Hannah? Am I fighting myself? Who has control of this?
That is definitely Hannah.
What are we? Okay, we're gonna have to box, I guess. I don't know.
Dog fight.
So I don't know that you're gonna get I don't know that it will ever happen, but it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought in a world where Microsoft buys, Bethesda.
So here's the next interesting thought.
Uh-oh.
Microsoft buying Sega. The Sega official Twitter in Japan tweeted a picture of one of their developers making the X sign in front of a box. Xbox.
So now it's Nintendo and Microsoft / Sega.
Yeah. Micro Sega.
Oh my goodness. It's happening.
Hey, it's better than Sega. Oh, Sega Soft isn't bad. So, I mean, if you're looking at, are we approaching a time in which basically the console makers are going to buy relatively all the major studios?
If you look at Microsoft, they didn't have a lot of exclusives the last round. Like Sea of Thieves is great, but they didn't have a really good gen for Halo. So Sony kicked their tail with Horizon Zero Dawn and the Uncharted's and Spider-Man. So they've had a really good backwards compatibility, all play, everything else, the fun foundations. But going forward, if they can get better exclusives, that's really where they need to focus. So them spending a lot of money on acquisitions now for their new launch makes a lot of sense.
So Hannah wants to tell you a joke
about a potato.
You're gonna text it one line at a time?
She just got home. I think she's gonna actually tell us in audio format, or she may type it.
And if you look at it too, if you've got until Hannah delivers. Oh, here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Hannah.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. I got Laffy Taffy, and this was on my Laffy Taffy.
Oh, these are the best.
What's a potato's favorite game?
Hot potato?
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
It cracks me up so.
Goodness.
Okay, here's Lynn back. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that's amazing. The interesting thing Microsoft's got going for it right now is that's amazing. Dude, who doesn't like a good Laffy Taffy joke?
No. The best part of that is her dancing around because she is so amused by it. And you guys cannot see it.
The thing Microsoft has going for it right now is Game Pass is an unbridled success.
Yes.
With millions upon millions of subscribers.
Yes.
Microsoft now has basically the ability to bring games to Game Pass that they own, that they don't have to share, and they get all of the revenue, period.
Mm-hmm.
And the more things they bring to Game Pass, the more people they're going to bring to Game Pass.
Yes.
You look at Halo.
I don't know.
With Halo Infinite, because Halo Infinite's coming to Game Pass, so I'm not going to buy it because it's going to be there.
Yeah.
I just canceled my Game Pass, and I think I'm going to buy Halo on its own.
But that's fine. Like, they've actually bridged the gap. You could do it on PC. You could do it on Xbox. They're doing people play on tablets. They have the foundation. They have the infrastructure now. Now they just got to put the games.
For the first time ever, they're actually ahead of the game for Sony for something.
Because they focused on infrastructure for the last 10 years. Games. So now they got to figure out the game part.
Yeah, it's true.
All I want is I just want Ghost of Tsushima on Xbox. That's what I want.
Yeah. I want everything on PC. So quit fighting your petty little silo wars.
I would be fine with PC as well. Like Xbox or PC. But
Xbox is PC now. I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
I'm playing Master Chief on my PC. I never thought that would happen.
It's so glorious.
So great.
We finally finished ODST last week. So last week? Yeah. So good. Oh my goodness.
So yes, lots of PC stuff. NVIDIA cards still sold out. AMD's announcing their new processor line. I believe that's next week. So that's going to be amazing in every way. So these NVIDIA card, man, like it's killing me, Smalls. Like I'm on every alert site period to try and get my hands on one, and I have failed. I've come so close so many times, and their websites crash and whatever. I'm slowly being defeated by this. All I want is to give NVIDIA my money. Why won't you take my money?
Shut up and take my money.
Shut up and take my money. So it will be, yes, it's going to be exciting whenever I do get one.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully in 2021, the way it's looking. So
that'll be the year. Yeah. All of our hopes resting on 2021.
Every movie we've ever wanted to see is going to be there. PC parts aren't going to be impossible to get.
Yep.
And then
new consoles,
new games, new consoles.
Halo.
Yeah, Halo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Destiny 3.
Matrix 4, John Wick 5.
That's true. And Fast and Furious 9.
Fast and Furious 9. Bill and Ted 6.
Yep. And James Bond 35.
James Bond 35.
2021.
Right. Wonder Woman 1984.
That's true. There you go. I've missed a lot of those sequels. I'll have to admit.
But everyone a treasure.
I basically missed Wonder Woman 2 through 1983. Like, I've got a lot to catch up on between now and then.
That's why we're in quarantine.
It's true. Oh, are we done?
All right. We're done.
I think that's
all right, guys. Well, it's been episode 166 of Gather the Nerds. I hope you have enjoyed the joke about a potato. and all the great coverage that we've had, as well as Cavs Pineapple. And, the randomness of this show. I hope you've enjoyed it. So I'm Nick, and I'll see you guys later. That's Cav.
Bye. Hannah still evil. Hashtag Hannah is evil.
Hannah's not evil. Most of the time.
Earthy Church.
Watch out for Shia LaBeouf. He'll punch you and take your hat.
All right, guys. Bye. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good. Oh, boy.